added something about the chat function that makes it ridiculous.
Oh yeah, like what?
You want to talk about it on the chat or the show, or you want to talk
Well,
about it here?
I'll give you two things. One, we're live,
All right.
and second, as soon as I get in here and edit this, make sure the stream title stayed how it was supposed to, like it didn't, and we'll get this ball rolling because it keeps wanting to go
now.
It keeps wanting to default the information back to the live stream from literally 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, when I clicked it, it did. It went back to.
Like, I don't get it. Just stop it.
I know I want to add it to a queue. Close the player.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, this is us. All right, yeah, we are live.
We should be. Okay. Real quick. I need 2 seconds. Chat. And then we'll get going. First thing is first. Pull the chat on my phone so I don't have to keep worrying about messing with the computer. And make sure I'm going to do a check just make sure the audio sounds good. So, yeah. Mic check. Let's go.
I'm here.
Yo.
Hello. Make sure I'm going to do a check just make sure the audio sounds good. So, yeah. Mic check. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we're good.
Well,
Huh?
What?
Michael, what are you
I
doing?
thought there might have been like a really delayed echo. I was trying to listen to it, but I think it was just you repeating yourself. So you're fine.
It may have been. It may have been just that exact thing. Okay. Let's get this ball rolling. Welcome everyone to episode checks notes 22 of Next Gen Newsweek, your weekly podcast and video podcast for all things Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch, and Samsung Smart Refrigerator. So, my name is Mitch, and tonight I'm joined with, in order, Steven, who has rotated sideways.
Sideways, Steven.
There we go.
There you go.
Steven in the top. And Richard on this side right here.
Stop pointing.
Yes. It looks right on my end. That's what they're going to see. And Michael.
Hey.
Gentlemen, we are T-minus 30 days until the first of the 2 next-gen systems are coming out. Steven, what is your hype right now going into the next-gen?
I really don't have any hype going into the next gen. Surprise!
Big sad.
Really, I really don't have anything to take away from it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of interesting video games right now. The reason I don't have a big takeaway from it is because, sadly, I won't be getting one launch day or before this year is over with. I guess I'm really happy for the cross compatibility. I guess that's something to look forward to. I can keep the games that I have and play them on that system, and hand down my Xbox One S to whoever wants it. That's pretty much it. It's been kind of lackluster for me after I got all the news in and everything, and once it slowed down, it just kind of set in with me. I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. I'm not going to have a heart attack about anything coming out.
Richard, I'm going to come to you last since I know you actually have a system pre-ordered. Michael, how are you feeling right now going into it?
I mean, I'm happy for everyone who is getting one. I mean, there's always something nice about opening up a new console and playing it for the first time. I mean, things have changed since we were kids. You know, you got your Nintendo 64. You didn't have unboxing videos of a Nintendo 64. You didn't have first impressions of other elite gamers, testing the system, putting it through its, breaks, so to speak. So, I mean, it's different now.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I saw a video, and I had to share it with all of you, but I got on Reddit, and some guy already has a retail Xbox Series X. He's already opened it up. Packaging is so beautiful, but so I got that kind of ruined for me. But I'm still gonna have fun doing it myself. But Richard, what is your hype right now going into it?
I woke up this morning, and for whatever reason, maybe it is because we're just a month away, but I got a little bit of the tingles. I got the email from Sony, so I actually ordered mine through Sony, and it's a guaranteed delivery on launch date from FedEx. I'm hoping that delivery window is relatively small because I'm not going to have a game that day unless I get up like first thing in the morning and go and then come back, because that's not something I want to leave on my front porch, even though I live like out in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know if it's going to be later in the afternoon. Of course, I'll go that morning. If it's going to be after that, it's going to suck because then I'm going to have to drive all the way to town, which, again, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm about half an hour from, like, the nearest Walmart. So I'm going to end up having to go for an hour with my PS5 just sitting here. So
updating.
It's probably, hey,
updating.
That's a good idea. But I have made the decision. It was a tough decision. It was a hard decision. I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up Demon Souls, and I'm going to pick up Valhalla. Those will be the two launch titles.
Nice.
That I get on launch day.
Nice. So I have an Xbox Series X pre-ordered through GameStop. Thank God I was able to get at least one, I was just wanting one or the other. I wasn't really banking on getting both of them. Mine are going to be Watch Dogs Legion and I know it's not really a launch day, but Cyberpunk. It's going to be the two big games that I pick up. I'm not really curious about Assassin's Creed. It's like they all just seem like the same game with just different settings. I think I've had enough Assassin's Creed. But I might change my mind about it. And then, of course, Call of Duty comes out that Friday. But I have that on PC and PlayStation. I bought a PS5 game for a system I don't even own. But let's just not shame me on that one. Because I already feel bad enough about buying a PS5 game. Look, I wanted to play the Call of Duty beta. I had to pre-order it. So I was like, well, if I pre-order it, I might as well get the version that works on both systems. So I spent $80 to play a beta.
Can I point out how, like, ironic it is that you're not into the Assassin's Creed because it's the same game with the new setting, yet you're going to buy, like, every damn Call of Duty that comes out. It's just the same thing, different setting. Yeah,
you're not wrong. And look, I ain't proud of myself over it, but it's just how it is. But all right, let's jump into some news. Richard's favorite game this year, Doom Eternal, has now found a new home on Samsung smart fridges. Some guy was able to get xCloud running on his Samsung smart fridge and was able to play it with no issues. Like he synced a controller up to his fridge and was just able to hang out in his kitchen and play Doom.
I mean, what's the refresh rate on a Samsung refrigerator?
I don't know. It can't be that good. But
viewers need to know.
But the point is that he was able to get it. But Richard, does that entice you to buy a Samsung smart fridge? You can play Doom on it.
It doesn't. And what's weird is that story annoyed me. I have no idea why. I saw that and I was like, oh, good God. Because, I've got such a polarizing opinion on mobile gaming to begin with. And then this guy puts Doom Eternal on his fridge. I'm like, jeez. What else did he have to do that day? But I mean, it's cool that he was able to do it, though. I mean, I'm not knocking him. I guess if I had a Samsung fridge, I'd probably try it too.
Oh, yeah. Real quick, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. I still wasn't able to figure out how to desync my personal Twitch channel from this live stream. So if you were watching this on twitch.tv/Meechflow, hi! I don't know how to fix it, so just know that if you're here, I know you're here, and I'm happy you're here watching this. Anyway, so there's been a lot of like everything else pretty much has just been about PlayStation backwards compatibility and some games getting next gen ports. So the big things, Harmonix, who is the creators of games like Rock Band, and back in the long time ago they did Guitar Hero 1 and 2. Everything from Rock Band 4, which came out I want to say 2015, it was the last Rock Band game. All the equipment, the peripherals and everything, they're all going to work out of the box on the PS5 and the Series X. If you're somebody who bought Rock Band 4 and had Xbox 360 equipment or PS3 equipment trying to make it work on PS4 and the Xbox One, you had to buy these adapters to make them work. You still will need to use those, but you won't have to buy anything else to make them work. And any song that you've purchased that's came out since 2007 on Rock Band 2, all of that DLC you purchase, as long as it's the same account, will move forward all the way, so you can actually have DLC from the 360 PS3 carry all the way over to the next gen.
Wow.
Either one.
That's a big library.
Yeah, that's over. God, I want to say it's over 4,500 songs that they've got in that game.
Like, who the hell is still playing Rock Band?
I think I actually just threw away my drum set.
Look, let me tell an embarrassing story. I mean, everything I say is embarrassing, so at this point, but so back when the only system I had was the Nintendo Wii, long time ago, before I ever bought my first Xbox or PlayStation, I had a drum set from one Guitar Hero game. I had a drum set from 2 different Rock Band games. I had like 6 guitars and literally a 3-drawer little container thing full of microphones. It was bad. I had a problem.
I'm not saying when, like, at the height of all that, you had Rock Band, Guitar Hero. I'm not saying that I didn't have a bunch of stuff either. I'm just saying that, like, it's been, because like you said, the last one was what was it, Rock Band 4?
It was Rock Band 4 in 2015.
That came out for PS4.
The PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, because they changed the buttons. I remember the buttons were, it's not like the color thing.
That was Guitar Hero Live that did that. Rock Band,
that's right.
Guitar Hero screwed everything up. Rock Band kept everything exactly how it was.
That's because I bought Guitar Hero Live, and I absolutely hated it. And
yeah,
I still got it, but I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah, some friends and I, we used to wear out Rock Band 4, but it's like everything else. If it's like, I had roommates, they come over, there's like 6 of us, we're just rotating out playing Rock Band. You do that for a month and everyone's just burned out. Everyone's sick of hearing the drums slapping constantly. Especially when people are not good at it. And it just wore out its welcome really fast. Just like it did the last time it came around. I did think it was cool though that I could take all of my DLC, like it's still tied to my Xbox account. So I could actually go in and pull all that DLC if I were to choose to buy Rock Band again on the Series X. I can move all of that stuff completely over, so I wouldn't have to rebuy all the DLC again. It's exciting, but at the same time, like, you actually can't find the equipment anymore. Like, you can buy the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, you probably can't even buy the stuff anymore.
Yeah,
so.
the most luck I had was actually, like, the cheapest way to play any of it was to go into a pawn shop. I bought Guitar Hero 2 for the PlayStation 2. It was the game with the guitar for $20, right? I was like, this is a good deal. I went to, what's it called? Game Trader, looking for a PS2. Got one of those for like dirt cheap as well. But to make the guitar work, I needed this little adapter that was like $150 on Amazon. So I gave up. It's like, no. And that Guitar Hero with that game and the guitar controller are still in my truck. And that was a year ago because I'm bad about cleaning out my car.
Oh, man.
Well, it begs the question, though, since they're making the effort to make like that seamless transition to next gen, I wonder if there's something in the works.
So here's the thing. I feel like Harmonix has been like double burned on this because literally back in like 2013, everyone was like, Harmonix, when are you going to make a new Rock Band game? We're ready for a new Rock Band game. And it came out and it sold like crap. And like,
well, yeah.
And, you know, there was not that amount of people who were ready to do that again. And I think I actually ended up selling my Wii U to GameStop to buy Rock Band for. Terrible human being, by the way. I regretted that decision for years until the Switch came out. But yeah, and then Guitar Hero was like, oh yeah, we'll pump out a new game. But I would love to see a new Guitar Hero that actually is like old Guitar Hero. Like, I don't need drums. I don't need singing. I just need a guitar, and I'll be content. Like, that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Did you play Guitar Hero Live?
No, not live. The last one I played was Warriors of Rock on the 360. It was technically Guitar Hero 6. It was the best one.
It just, it didn't even feel the same. It's weird.
It's like a live service game. Like, was not here for it.
It was not as good as the rest of the series.
Yeah. Also, while we're talking about backwards compatibility, I'm trying to get this link to open. Why is it not opening? Sony came out and said, hey, we have a list of all the games that are not going to work on PlayStation 5. And I feel really bad for the fans of these games. And we're going to have a little in memoriam for them, because I know everyone's going to be really upset that you cannot play the following games on your PlayStation 5. And leave a like on this video if you've played any of them or you are upset that you'll not be able to play them again. DWVR, Afro Samurai 2 Revenge of Kuma, Volume 1. Volume 2, to be determined. TT Isle of Man, Ride of the Edge 2. Just Deal With It. Shadow Complex Remastered. Robinson, The Journey. We Sing, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Shadwin, and last but most certainly not least, Joe's Diner. Very sad if you're a fan of any of these games. And
can I just say, like, all right, Shadow Complex Remastered. That's a really good Metroidvania style game. But the problem is that was that came out for like the PS3 and the 360. It's got a lot of age on it. I don't think that's one of those. Well, I don't think anything on that list is one of those where people are just going to throw their hands up and be like, "Well, I'm not buying a PS5."
I mean, that's why I canceled my pre-order. I mean,
it's good. But that's a good game. But I wonder, like, how many people. I know Steven just talked about, giving up his Xbox once he gets a new system. But is that typical?
Well, I can say if I secure a PS5, I will be trading in my PS4 Pro to GameStop to get credit back off of it. Currently, the trade-in value on it is like $260, and that's like way more than I would ever expect to get out of a current gen system as the next generation's coming out. I don't know. Like, I've never, for the most part, like, my sister's older than me, and she's not a gamer, so I've never had anyone to gift systems to, really. So anytime that, like, I'm due to upgrade, I usually just trade them in and get credit towards something else. So
I don't know. I have my PS3, my PS4. I have a PS5. I guess
it would be. I mean, it's different because I'm not a big PlayStation guy. Like, my first PlayStation was PS4. And there isn't true PS3 backwards compatibility on PS4, and I mean there is to PS4. On PS5, but
that's actually a good point. It does make more sense with Sony because of the backwards compatibility issues. Yeah, you're right.
Now it's different with, like, Wii U, I guess, because they're pretty much taking everything from the Wii U and making better versions of it and throwing it on the Switch, and they are charging $60 for it. But it's
good old Nintendo.
But with Xbox, they're literally just saying, hey, pretty much every game we've ever made that's ever been released on these systems is just going to work when you pop it in your Series X. This isn't in the notes. I just thought about this because I forgot about it earlier. Currently, if you were the only way to, like, carry your Xbox 360 saves over to Xbox One is if you were an Xbox Live Gold subscriber, but they're opening it up to where you don't have to be a Gold subscriber to carry your 360 saves over to the Series X. So if you fall into that category of people who've played games like Banjo-Kazooie or something on the 360 version, it'll carry over without you having to keep your Gold membership up. Steven, anything on? Well, I guess you're not the biggest PlayStation fan, but if any of these games are also on Xbox, have you played them, or are you upset that they won't be on PS5?
None of these games I've played. I think all 2 of them, 3 of them I heard of. Like my thing is, I have no problem going back and buying an old console for nostalgia purposes only. There's Game Trader right down the street from me. Hell, I still play in the plug and play era, so that's no real big deal to me. It's not that big of an upset, and I don't think it ever will be a big of an upset. I've always been that type of person who's late to the party as far as next gen anyway. So if I want to do any type of research on these games or play these games, I still have PlayStation 3, and my girl still has a PlayStation 4, so I can always dive into it and see if it's something worth mentioning.
I will say the only exception to my rule of trading things in, if you look back there on the top, we have an NES and a Wii up there, just about face. They're the only exceptions. Only because my Wii is modded to hell and back, and GameStop would never take that.
Fair enough.
They would just be like, the hell is this? The cool thing, though, is with that, so the Wii is backwards compatible with GameCube games, and that thing is modded where I can put GameCube games somehow on a flash drive and pop them in there and plug a GameCube controller in, and they just work. And it saves all my saves to an SD card, so I don't have to put a memory card in there either. It's wonderful.
Nice.
Michael, anything on this list you upset about that's not going to be on your PlayStation 5?
I mean, nothing I'm upset about. Yeah, actually, it kind of shocked me because I didn't even realize Afro Samurai had a video game that had come out, and I actually liked the anime a whole lot. Both the films were just really high quality animation, but I was surprised they even came out with a video game.
So I guess the only question I have is, does that mean that Afro Samurai 2 Revenge of Kuma Volume 2 is coming over, but not Volume 1? Or do they ever release a Volume 2?
I don't see why they would. I didn't like it's such a visceral, bloody anime. Like, it just, the video game adaptation didn't make sense to me. So I mean, I'm neither here nor there on whether they translate it over or not, but it's just a shock that it even exists.
Yeah. So other than those backwards compatible games, one more, in my opinion, big game has decided to join the ranks of the games getting free upgrades to next gen, and that's Mortal Kombat 11. I actually haven't spent a lot of time with 11. I wore out 10 like completely. I actually bought 11 on PC, but just haven't really got into it. But anyway, if you are someone who already owns Mortal Kombat 11, it will be getting a free upgrade with, guaranteed locked 4K 60 FPS, and I think you can unlock it, or you can downgrade the graphics to raise the frame rate to 120, which I've never seen a Mortal Kombat game run at 120 FPS, but that's like what fighting games probably would benefit the most from, is a higher frame rate. Along with that, 3 new characters are joining, which is Rain, who is a old Mortal Kombat character that's been absent for several games now. Melina, is that how you say it, Melina? She's coming back with a new design. And Rambo, voiced by Sylvester Stallone. Richard, how do you feel about Rambo joining Mortal Kombat? Is that going to make you get it?
No. Why? I don't, I think at some point, these added characters, it's just because they did Turtles. Wasn't the Turtles part of them?
I think Turtles were
was
in
that
Injustice.
DC?
I think
Injustice.
the
Maybe the Turtles
came out
were
later.
Injustice.
But
I know with Mortal Kombat, you had the horror, you had the Xenobites from from no, not Xenobites. What are they called?
Xenomorph, and you had
Xenomorphs from Alien.
You had
Jason, Freddy,
yep.
Leatherface. And then in this one, was it the last one or this one? There's also Terminator.
Terminator's in 11.
In 11.
Yeah.
RoboCop.
That's weird. You know,
Oh yeah, RoboCop's in it too.
I kind of hope that they kind of stick with that whole '80s action vibe, because it would be awesome to see like John McClane from Die Hard or like Tango and Cash.
Just a stack of gremlins.
Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, So I don't know how much of a draw Rambo is. I mean, for a Mortal Kombat game, it seems kind of odd, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna hope that
I could see Ash from Evil Dead in it.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that as long as it keeps them going, that would be awesome to see some.
I think it's nice that they're continuing to support 11 instead of just dropping it and being like, oh well. In a couple of years, we'll give you 12. But like, I do think that they're. The only thing I don't like is that it's called Mortal Kombat Ultimate. Like,
yeah, that was wasn't it the same name as the third one, the Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate.
I think. Well, the thing that got me was that it's the same name as Smash Brothers.
Right? They could have just called it Smash Brothers, the last one, or something.
Yeah,
the last one.
I'm not gonna give y'all bitches anything to complain about.
I mean, he hasn't. I mean, well, I'm picky, so he has given me things to complain about, but the majority of people no. But we'll get back to Smash in a minute. Michael, any thoughts on Mortal Kombat 11? You gonna pick it up if you don't already have it?
No.
Or Steven?
No, I'm not gonna pick it up. Only because I'm a Capcom kid. Street Fighter. It was that big clash between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in our household, so Street Fighter is my thing. I don't mind playing it. I'm not hating on the game. I don't mind playing it. It's fun. The storylines are great to me. It's just Rambo. Like, I love the vibe that they're giving off. But Rambo, no. They could have went any other direction with that other than Rambo.
I mean, they're just gonna add more characters, like we're talking about. Like, I think Ash from Evil Dead is actually a really good pick for someone that they could eventually add in. That or just bring back all of the horror icons. Like Jason was one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat 10. I was so good with him. It was great. Yeah, and every character I was good with, they ended up not making it into 11. I was really upset. Speaking of fighting games, though, and we kind of already talked about this, Minecraft Steve. I don't know why I emphasize Steve so much. I've been doing Steve. I've been doing it literally for like 3 days now. Steve came out in Smash Brothers last night. I stayed up way too late doing some
Smashing.
Yes, trying him out against David, who was supposed to be on the show to talk to me or help me go over all the stuff with Steve, but he's a he's a new parent, so he's excused.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of. I mean, he's out. He's like what, $6 if you buy him outright, or if you have the Fighters Pass. He's available in that.
It is David out?
No, he's I think he's trying to join us right now.
I was about to say joining us live.
I literally thought I missed a message where David was like, I'm coming. I mean, that'd be cool though. But yeah, we'll try to get more impressions on Steve sometime when David can, or maybe Michael can play Steve since.
No, what we're saying is David's trying to come in right now.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he's in the closet. He's back there.
Coming here now.
No way.
Yeah, he's trying to come in.
Well, I literally have missed every single message about this.
Oh, for shame on you.
Yeah. I'll drop the, yeah, come on, David. What are you doing? Anyway, so while we're waiting for David to join, I guess we'll use this time to talk about the next topic, and we'll come back to that. There was an article that came out that was talking about, this is all speculation, about whether Nintendo should adopt a similar marketing or a hardware strategy that Apple uses, where they drop new Nintendo consoles every year versus dropping one every 5 or 7 years. I just kind of wanted to get everyone's opinions on like if they should do that or not. So, Richard, we'll start with you on this.
I think they should get out of hardware, period.
Oh.
I mean, that's my opinion. I want to play I say I want to play the next Legend of Zelda on my PS5, but not if it's like Breath of the Wild.
Or, Genshin Impact.
When we talk about that later, I want to say something about that.
Okay.
But no, I don't think so. Nintendo's got a lot of good franchises. I know I give them a really hard time. I'm always going to give them a really hard time because I don't think they monopolize properly on all of their franchises. But I always feel like the consoles that they released, at least here in the past few generations, it's either they've been just a little bit behind the times or they've not really thought about it. It's almost like from an innovation standpoint, they get really damn excited about what they can do, and then they just push it out there without really thinking, what's the kind of longevity of a console like this.
Right.
And I honestly don't think it's fair to, Apple gets away with it, but then again, you have that whole culture where, you see somebody with an iPhone, there's, they're a wealthy person, blah, blah, blah. And iPhone's really expensive, but then, you have these plans where you can upgrade them and it doesn't cost that much. I doubt Nintendo's going to do something like that because they'll sell like a 15-year-old game for $60. And I don't think, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there's a big enough audience to support the kind of research and development and just manufacturing of consoles that quickly to where people are going to buy them every year.
What about if it was just like every 2 or 3 years?
On that note, like Nintendo doesn't make screens that when you shatter them, you still want to use your Switch, unlike the iPhone, where you'll keep that shit around for like 5 years. And, it's still good. It's fine. It's an iPhone. It's shattered, but it's fine.
Not to go on a tangent, but did y'all see the new iPhone that they announced yesterday? It actually, as an Android guy, I was really impressed with the iPhone 12. It was. I'm probably gonna switch to iPhone.
I haven't watched it yet. What's the release date on that?
I believe there's 4 of them. I know. Next Gen Newsweek, we're talking about iPhones. It's okay. We'll get back on track in a second. The iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12 go on pre-order this Friday and release the following Friday, and then the iPhone 12.
Wow.
And then the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max go on pre-order November 6th, and then they come out on the 13th. The 12 mini.
See, I'm actually up for an upgrade, so
the 12 mini, I think it starts at $699. It's the same size as the new iPhone SE, but it's got the full screen except for the little forehead on it. And but they're all 5G phones too, so that's like the big thing with it. It's really cool.
Oh, so it's gonna give me cancer.
Ah, damn. It was nice
and cause COVID.
It was nice knowing.
No, I have the iPhone XR Plus right now, so I don't know what I would move to, but I certainly don't want a smaller.
I would get the regular 12 or get the 12 Pro. If you want a big phone, get the Max. The 12 Pro is $999. The Pro Max is $1099.
Well, I also don't want to carry a tablet in my pocket either. So I don't know.
You know what's funny though is I've always been in that mindset of Apple's so freaking expensive, and then people who have their phones are prestigious, and then this is a Galaxy Note 10. They're really blurry on here. Oh my gosh, this thing was $1,400. So
yeah,
I have another year on it, but I might try to pay it off early so I can.
I've never understood that kind of cultural aspect of Apple, because Samsung phones are just as expensive, if not more. People,
I wouldn't have spent this much money on this phone, but it comes with a pen, and I love drawing on my phone. That's all I love.
It came with a pen, so I paid $1,400.
Yeah, and this is a 5G phone too, even though I've never gotten to use 5G on it. Did David just decide not to come, or what?
I don't know. He asked if he could join.
Yeah, he was asking. He seemed interested, and then he just, I don't know, maybe he's struggling.
Michael said that he could come on, and I'm going to quote him. He said, "Ah, shit," and then he disappeared. So
I just wanted to not look bad. I kind of wanted to come, but didn't really. Just a way to.
I mean, he can. I guess I'm gonna let you guys have at it with doing a deep dive into Genshin Impact. I haven't played it. I haven't downloaded it to my phone finally, but I haven't played it. But I'm gonna let you guys kind of just free for all it on this because there's a lot of stuff to break down. And Michael, being what are you, level 29 or higher now?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
So, as the
yeah,
just 29. As the person who has spent the most time in this game, I'm going to let you have the floor first, and then Richard and Steven, y'all just chime in.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, first, facts I just made up. So, did you know sometimes eggs come out perfectly round? And that's really because if you watch some videos, like if you move a chicken around, like it maintains its equilibrium. You know, chickens don't lay down on their side and sleep. They just, plop down there. So this is because you have actually rotated the chicken around and it has lost all sense of equilibrium. So it confuses the chicken vagina. And this is how you get round eggs. But onto Genshin Impact. So you can actually collect birds' eggs and all sorts of other little edible things throughout the environment. I will say level scaling with enemies is jumpy. I'm kind of hoping like major update, like maybe like 2 updates from now, they kind of fix that, especially for newer players that are not really anticipating like that weird jump in the grind. Because like my world level just went up, and I went like a couple more adventure rank levels, and then like all of a sudden the enemies got a lot harder. But I mean bosses are still fine, so it's kind of weird. There's a lot more content than Breath of the Wild ever had. Like the map is massive. Like yeah, they borrowed a lot, but there's some elements from other games too, and then. Just the Chinese aesthetic, especially like in the Liyue town, and some of the language stuff. It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful.
All right, Richard, anything to add into that?
Yeah, I was going to add about that. And I've seen major publications make that comparison to Breath of the Wild, how it's so similar, and really it's not. This is a rich, vibrant world with characters and interesting things to do. And I think that if you're going to go in thinking it's like Breath of the Wild, you may be overwhelmed because of the amount of stuff to do.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got such a high adventure rank before I even stepped into basically the second half of the story, which is in Liyue. And there's actually more content in Liyue than in Mondstadt. And I have to say there's a lot more different character nuances too. Like you can talk to a bunch of NPCs and you can trigger these little side quests. Your daily missions, so to speak, are actually flavored by all the other interactions you've had. So you might make a mistake on one mission and you kind of fail it, but like succeed in another way, and then like maybe like 2 or 3 like days later on your dailies, like that same person will pop up and that mission was affected. Like one time you're trying to help Timmy like feed these ducks, and if you just straight up kill the ducks, you might get a daily mission a couple days later where you have to apologize to Timmy.
Make sure you apologize to little Timmy.
Well, his daddy's gone, so
yeah,
he's
just like Daddy.
Just like Daddy.
Dang.
But eventually the birds will come back, just like Daddy. And then you kill the fucking ducks!
It's some interesting things. I like how, I don't know if it's set up. I don't know if I want to use the term it's set up this way, but I know when you get a new character, it's kind of like they have a weapon that they come with.
Right.
And I kind of leave it that way. And, when you're playing and you kind of hot swap in between them because you know some enemies require different approaches. I kind of like that. There's kind of a strategy to that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not deep into the game, not like Michael, but you know, I would like to see that sort of expanded upon, you know, just a little bit more, and it may be, but I kind of like that because I feel like the game forces you to, especially because I end up using, especially in the beginning, I'm going to draw a blank on I don't know if she's a rabbit girl or a cat girl. She's got ears. I don't know if they're
bunny.
It's a bunny girl.
Mascot is the Baron Bunny.
That's right. So she throws it, and it's essentially a bomb.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of also a puzzle mechanic because I came across an area of the map where it was kind of like a ruined castle, and there was a loot chest that was surrounded by a magical barrier, and there were these unlit torches all around this ruined structure, and I had no way to light them, but I had these bombs, so I ended up throwing bombs everywhere to get them lit.
Right.
So there's also that kind of a puzzle mechanic that's really good that forces you to use, you know, the other characters and their abilities. So it's overall, I mean, it's shaping up to be solid. I really like it.
Steven, how much time have you gotten to spend with Genshin Impact?
I haven't made it into multiplayer yet. But from what I played so far, I've always been a fan of the whole RPG aspect, the switching of characters, the upgrading and enhancing the characters through various items, weapons, and it seems like they're giving some of these people a short and brief background. Kaya, he went on a little bit about his lineage with pirates. Amber, I believe that's her name, Amber, went on about how she ended up becoming one of the glider champions, and she's I'm guessing she's a Favonius apprentice knight. The main character, they really haven't gave much on that, and I'm sure that that's going to announce itself the further that you get into the game, and I can't wait on that. And most RPGs nowadays, or most games that are built like that nowadays, they really don't give you too much backstory on the support characters, and that's always fun to see when you can learn a little bit about everybody that you have on your team. Not to mention, I know with a lot of RPG games, they do to where you get 2 or 3 different characters from different elemental classes. In this case, you got some that work with fire, you got some that work with spatial or partial magic. You got some that work with ice or frozen magic, as I've seen. And it just seems like, because this is a gacha game, so it seems like they're going to be having more characters. There's going to be more things out there for people to be interested in. Hopefully they'll build more backstories to go with it. But yeah, from what I've been doing so far, all I've really been doing is just level grinding. I'm starting to do a little bit of research on character ascension, upgrading weapons. I haven't done too much exploring yet and seeing what I can and can't do yet, because a lot of the things, as far as going back into like a temple or tower, you have to have that certain adventure rank for. So I haven't really went back to areas I've already went to, but I have done a little exploring in the areas that I've got the statues of the 7 taken care of. I've been doing a little bit of research on that, but it's immersive. It's out there. There's a lot to do, even with the little that I've unlocked. So I can't really wait to get into the rest of it. Can't wait for that 16.
Yeah.
I will say, don't be afraid of going back and re-exploring areas, because different like item level up stuff, like the rocks and stuff and gems you have to mine, or even treasure chests, will regenerate.
Okay.
And treasure chests are one of the main ways of leveling up your adventure rank.
I was going to ask, I guess I haven't played it, but Michael, have you gotten to dabble with multiplayer at all? Like, how is
I've done it a handful of times. Right now they have an event running around for like the alchemy stuff, so and you can actually bolster your battle rank that way too. I believe. Really wouldn't. I would suggest, like, yeah, you unlock it at 16, but I really wouldn't delve into it until you hit level 20, because that's when a lot of other areas open up for you, too. So if you do happen to find in with a really cool crowd, you can just follow them and not be too hindered by if you're under-leveled or not.
Okay.
And I will say, like, they have, like, there's a couple different ways and different branches to level up. I will say there's like an adventure handbook, and that kind of gives you clues as to how you need to be leveling up at your stage. Like if you're struggling and one of your adventure handbook things is like ascend your weapons to level 3, that's probably what you need to be focusing on, is gathering those ascension materials and upgrading your weapons.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have any final things you want to add on to Genshin Impact before we start closing down?
I wish the translation team would do a little bit better job.
Yeah.
Like some of the names, the Mondstadt, I said the other day, it's all, I'm always going to see Mondstadt 7.
Right.
It's just like some vag cream. And then even like the Knights of Flavonius? Flavonius? Yeah. What? Yeah, but that's a really, really mild complaint.
I have the same complaint, and from what little experience I have with Chinese, it's really all about pronunciation, and different characters will pronounce different, like the same name, different ways, and it's really like it grates on me, even though I don't know a whole lot about Chinese. I'm like, you're pronouncing it wrong, and I know you're pronouncing it wrong. Well, how did they let this go when a Chinese company made this game? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I've heard this on both sides. Whether you pick the male or the female, a lot of times they're getting the gender wrong. Either in the text or the voice acting, they're getting the gender wrong. And so, like, I picked the female just because my brother picked the male. And, just I wanted that different element, and he said it was happening to him too. So it goes on both sides, no matter who you pick.
That's because if you pick the male or the female, you're always the female. Have you seen the male? They looked identical to me, so.
I mean, that's fair. But it kind of adds a little twist on some of the story missions, because one of the characters is like, "Hey, cutie," and I'm like, you're probably saying this is the boy character too, so you maybe just go both ways.
Well, they're just confused. It's one of those where this guy's got a really androgynous face. So
that's true. All right, so before we get into wrapping up now, we have a caller joining us. Joining us live through Discord, it is David, also known as The Real My Toes, and I bet his microphone's not working yet.
He just deafened us.
How rude.
David, I believe in you. You can do it.
You can do it.
Or finish pooping, whatever you're doing.
Please don't hop in this call while pooping.
I hear static.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you in a 1980s TV with no signal.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Well, we'll keep you around till the end. We're actually coming close to wrapping. Are we getting video? Oh my God!
Video! He's so handsome.
Look at that mustache. Oh my God. All right. David, so we kind of already talked about Steve a little bit, but we'll go back to it since you're the only person who has gotten to lab Steve with me a little bit. So why don't you give us all your first impressions of Minecraft, Steve? Is
I don't know.
Is he just being a mime? Like I thought he was just being a mime.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I think audio's gone.
He's simplistic yet complicated at the same time. It's weird. It's just a weird setup, but he has a lot of launch power with his down aerial smash and his side B. The cart and the anvil drop. Those two things. If you're at, I think 85%, you will be launched to your death for the most part.
Yeah,
it feels like the same amount of force from Banjo side B for the minecart and definitely Pac-Man's fire hydrant drop for down smash. It feels that powerful, if not more, for that one.
Not to go over too many heads with this, talking about like frame data and stuff. The anvil that he's talking about, when it comes down, it actually has 2 hitboxes on it. It has a hitbox as soon as it hits you, and then it has another hitbox as soon as the anvil hits the ground. And if you are on the ground and you get hit, you will get hit twice by this anvil. And if you're Jigglypuff, if you're the character where, like, if her shield breaks, she just dies, it can kill Jigglypuff instantly. And
man,
it is beyond broken.
that's nasty.
The thing that got me though, I was watching a competitive player lab with Steve earlier. You can jump, build a block, up air, jump, build a block, up air, and just keep carrying people off the top like Byleth with Donkey Kong whenever Byleth came out, and it's unruly. And Minecraft, and I always just say Minecraft. Steve will get nerfed probably within the next week. It's kind of bad. It's kind of nutty too. But I ain't got nothing else to say about Steve. I'm gonna play with him some more probably tomorrow. But David, while you're here, what? Go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. He definitely doesn't feel like a main to me, like at all. Like, it's fine for the most part, but I don't see myself playing as much.
Apparently Steve was supposed to be in the main roster for the game, but it took them 5 years worth of negotiations to get the licensing to use Steve. So that's why it took so long to get him in there. So yeah, I'm happy for all the people that were really excited to have Steve, and I'm really sorry for all the people who came to Walmart today looking for copies of Smash Brothers so they could play with Steve, and we didn't have a single one. Feel really bad for y'all. Not gonna lie, it's pretty sad. But as we're closing, we're going to jump into what games we're playing, and I know what at least 3 of you have been playing this past week, as we just talked about it for 15 minutes. But David, since you're our special guest in, why don't you tell us what games you're playing, other than Red Dead, because we all know because you were on Discord playing Red Dead.
No, actually, that's Brianna who's playing it, my wife.
Oh.
She's been playing it. She just finished the epilogue with John Marston. Or Jim Martin, I think is what alias he was going by. Richard, am I right?
I think it's Jim Martin. You know, he can't go around telling people his real name. He's
right.
He's too much baggage with that. So.
Yeah, Steve Martin. No, I've been playing Torchlight 2 on the Switch. It was $12 on sale, so I got that, and I've been loving it. I'm like level 32 now in 2 days.
Torchlight 3 just came out, I think yesterday. Or
what? Huh?
Torchlight 3 came out yesterday.
Richard, don't tell me these things. I'm broke.
Yeah. You know, Shami, it's $40. So
It would have been better if it was like 12.
No, like, you know, I remember, like, you know, Torchlight 1 and 2 were both 20, and this one's like double in price. So I don't know. It's got to be a lot bigger and better if they're gonna get double. Or I don't know. Maybe they just have that kind of following now. But yeah, Torchlight 3 came out yesterday.
So what I'm hearing is that it took Michael like 2 weeks to get to level 29 in Genshin Impact, but it took David 2 days to get to level 30 something in Torchlight 2.
Because killing shit doesn't level you up.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of does. It kind of does, but like not enough.
All right, Michael. Anything other? Well, you can talk about Genshin Impact more if you want to, but anything other than Genshin Impact you've been playing?
It actually made me stop playing my other gacha games. How about that?
There you go.
I kind of need to do like some shit on Fortnite to finish, you know, the season out and get all the characters, because I want all the Marvel characters that I bought technically. But like, you know, other than that, I will also say it's like, especially like in some areas of the game, like some of it's just like so Breath of the Wild. It's funny. I mean, and they already even came out and said, hey, we were heavily influenced by Breath of the Wild. But it's like in some areas it's just so truly beautiful. I'm like, I need to screenshot this. And I don't feel that with a lot of games. I mean, other than like what my background just changed to, it's Horizon Zero Dawn. Like Horizon Zero Dawn was like just a really incredible landscape of different elements and re-rescued tech, and then all these other animatronic animals. Like nothing else has been like that for me.
Yeah. The last game I ever, well, actually, one of the only games I can recall that was like that, other than Horizon, is The Last of Us 2. Other than that, though, like it's been like a while since I mean, that first scene where Link runs out onto the plateau, as soon as like in the cutscene, that was like one of those wow moments. But like after that, like yeah, it was just The Last of Us with those like visual moments like that. Steven, what are you up to? I know you were playing Call of Duty before we started recording.
Yep, I'll be playing Call of Duty, playing some Genshin, and I'm gonna be playing Vampire pretty tough for Halloween for the Spooktober.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking about streaming that too. So those are my lineup for the week.
All right, Richard.
I've actually been playing a game called Let It Die, which I think it's been out for a few years. I don't know when it hit PS4, but I know there's a lot to say about it. It is a free game to play. You can play it on PC and PS4. There's so much to say. I'm just going to keep it to like little buzzwords and stuff like that. Essentially, you start out and you meet a character known as Death, and it's kind of like what you would think Death to be, you know, the skull with the robe and the scythe and all that stuff. But he's got 3D glasses on, and he's Hispanic, and he likes to skateboard, and he goes by the name Uncle Death. I don't know what the premise is. It's kind of shady. It's from the perspective that you're playing a game within a game, but I think it's kind of deeper than that. A lot of people think that it's actually just a version of this person's hell. But the object of the game is to climb the Tower of Barbs, which is a really hellish tower that's popped up in Korea because all the tectonic plates on the planet have moved around and a lot of people died, and it's just really weird. And every player has their own waiting room, and in their waiting room there is a Korean Hitler that does like your weapon upgrades and everything like that. And then there's a mushroom stripper girl that will sell you stickers to put on your body and mushroom stews and stuff.
Guys, I'm pretty sure Richard tripped acid and then just played Mario Brothers.
So, and you don't. Another interesting thing is you don't specifically have a character. You have a freezer where you keep these bodies, and you just pull bodies out of your freezer, and you can animate them to climb this Tower of Barbs. It's a crazy game. It's very sadistic and very gritty and very gory, but then there's also this humor aspect that just makes it feel weird and wrong. And it is a Japanese game, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but I will spoil the first boss. Because it is a Japanese game, I found this really odd. The first boss is actually a decapitated head of an American redneck in a trucker hat. All right, so it's an American redneck in a trucker hat that has nails coming out of his face where, you know, a beard would be. And then he's got these 2 miniature arms that have been surgically implanted where his ears should be. And he speaks with like this really deep southern drawl. And he uses a lot of foul language. And it's just... And the game's first cutscene, this is another odd thing that I found. When the boss is introduced and he goes, there's an intro cutscene and an outro cutscene. The cutscenes are actually filmed in live. They're not CG at all. Like they took a camera and they built stuff, because you see like these candles burning in the background, and they've made like this little cardboard caricature puppet of the boss, the redneck with the arms coming out of his head. And then similar to the SpongeBob. Oh, everybody knows that. The SpongeBob intro with the little live mouth on the painting.
Yeah.
There's a live mouth on this cardboard caricature, and it's just so odd and freaky, and it's disturbing in a way. And it's an experience that It's free to play, so go ahead and download it. If you hate it, you can just delete it. But I think it's something that everybody should look at. It'll definitely pull your attention for a little while.
Did you ever watch Flapjack?
I did. Yeah, I did.
There we go.
Yeah.
Richard, I think you did hit all the buzzwords. You hit free to play, weird, Japanese, Korean Hitler, dead bodies. Just all the buzzwords.
It's got like
I
the
got
whole
off when
anime
he said
aspect.
Korean Hitler.
Because like the Korean Hitler that upgrades your weapons, there's a small time thing. Like if you upgrade some, it takes like 7 minutes. But when you go back to him and he tells you that he's finished upgrading, he like totally does that whole anime arm movement thing, that's over exaggerated, when he's done something. And yeah, it's an experience, I'll tell you that. Oh, and the multiplayer aspect. Some people like this on multiplayer games. Other people actually just absolutely loathe it. But other players can invade your waiting room. And they can steal your currency, 2 forms of your currency. You've got kill coins and you got splithium. So that can happen. I've been playing for probably about a week now, and I can say that I've only been invaded twice. One time, and also you can set up traps and like put guards in your waiting room, so you can upgrade to where people have a really hard time taking anything of yours. But I've only been defeated in that aspect once out of the whole week, and the amount of splithium and kill coins that I lost, you could make it up easily in like 5 minutes in the gameplay. So it's not like that's too terrible, but there is that aspect where other players, they can attack your waiting room, even if you're not playing. And you will lose some of your currency, but in my opinion, it's not enough to really make it unenjoyable.
I have a question. So the refrigerator that you keep the dead bodies in, can you play Doom on it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not a smart fridge.
It could be.
There's a small box where you can actually get quests, and on either side of it are 2. They look kind of like the little guy from Fallout on either side of it, but it's like a viewfinder, and you go in there and you choose quests, and then when you shut it off before you leave, there's like this Korean girl that's like looking at you back through it, and she always seems like shocked to be seeing you, and then she's like says some off the wall shit about people borrowing her clothes or something. It never makes sense. It's just really odd, but there's that.
All right, so Let It Die. Everybody go download this game, and
it's a game by I think his name's Suda51.
Oh, okay.
So he made Lollipop Chainsaw. I mean,
No More Heroes.
If you're a fan of this guy, then I don't think there's anything in the game that might be shocking. But
yeah, Suda51. That dude's nuts. But
yeah,
he really is. Just real quick, games I'm playing. Super Mario 35, Battle Royale Mario. Really fun. I got my first win the other day, and I hardly ever win Battle Royale games, so I was very happy with myself. I knocked out, I beat someone who lives in Japan, who, they're really good at Mario Brothers, so I beat them, and it was really good. And then Smash, obviously, because Minecraft Steve, and Phasmophobia, because we can't go a week without talking about the spooky ghost game. And I'll put on my Twitter, I actually got a picture of a ghost, and it was terrifying because I wasn't expecting the ghost to be right there, and I about shit myself, and it was great.
Oh, that's great.
Thankfully, none of us died, but it was a, what was it called? A Jin? That was the type of ghost it was. And then tonight is Modern Warfare, and then tomorrow is the Black Ops Cold War beta for PC, because it comes out at 2 a.m., and I'm not staying up to play it. So, lots of Call of Duty. They're adding a Leatherface skin and a Jigsaw skin that you can purchase. You can run around as Jigsaw with a gun and just murder people. It's going to be fantastic. But on that note, let's get out of here. So, David, any social medias to plug before we get going?
I've been very abstinent from my social medias and more of a gawker at this point than I am Advent poster. But hey, at the Real My Toes on practically everything. Twitter and Instagram are my main ones. and I think I go by my real name on TikTok, but I haven't posted a new TikTok in like 3 months. So there's that.
All right, Michael.
Unsolicited nudes is still going really strong. We'll say really the only thing going on right now is like the Apple event and what was it? Prime Day, which is still has some sales going on right now, and a lot of other sellers that are going through Amazon, even though they're advertising for Prime Day, are still continuing those deals. Probably for like at least a good week or so. And I actually finished buying parts for the like eco build sort of like low budget gaming computer that you'll be able to easily upgrade. So we'll probably do a build video sometime soon for that.
Not to mention, also Best Buy is doing a Black Friday event right now, where like pretty much instead of doing it in November, it's like I don't know if it's just this week or just a couple of weeks, but they've got Black Friday deals that they're already advertising as Black Friday going on their website. And it's kind of like a lot of these brick and mortar stores are running their own like anti-Prime Day sales. So I know Walmart.com's got stuff going on in Best Buy.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's plenty of good deals and stuff. I originally had got like a new microphone and a new condenser, but I realized that kit wasn't going to work, so I'm going to reevaluate that. But I ended up getting a 400 gigabyte micro SD card for my Switch for like $40. Normally they're like $70, so
Nice.
it's a good deal. Steven?
Follow me on SoundCloud and Twitch, The Breaks for Twitch, and Breaker Beach 2020 on SoundCloud. And just a shout out to, again, all of the small time streamers. A lot of these people do it for the love of the game, for the love of the communication with other people. Go support a small time streamer that you may be watching or may have heard of. You never know how that's going to impact somebody's day. It may cheer yours up. So go and support them.
Yeah. Richard?
I think you blanked out. Richard?
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't hear anything. I thought you. Board Game Breakdown, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This Friday, we have the Hocus Pocus breakdown of that board game. And then shortly thereafter, I'm probably going to post it. I was going to post it the day after. I may wait until Monday. It'll be the first tutorial video on the Dice Tower for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. But definitely check out Hocus Pocus. I've got another Halloween-inspired board game coming up called Horrified. I'm going to do that review, and I'm going to try and do as many as I can close to Halloween. I wanted to do. There's a new Zombie Side. They did a Night of the Living Dead game, and I just got a notification that it's going to hit the U.S. hubs on October 19th, which means I won't see it for probably 2 or 3 weeks. So I think they're not going to be able to get that before Halloween, but I was hoping. If I am, I will rush and make that video, but that may be shortly after Halloween. Check it out, Board Game Breakdown.
When is it going to hit the porn hubs, though?
Hey, probably already. They've probably got some really good unboxing videos.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff on there. If you wanted to play Fallout or watch someone play Fallout 4 before Fallout 4 came out, the hub was the way to go. That was like the last time I remember a game leaking on Pornhub. Anyway, if you want to find anything that I'm at, twitch.tv/Meechflow, and twitter.com/Meechflow. I also use Instagram, but I'm like David, I just lurk on there. I really don't post stuff anymore. But yeah, I actually put up a post on Twitter asking people to send me their best /funny gaming tattoo ideas, because I want to get a tattoo and it's going to be something nerdy. So make sure you send me all your funny tattoo ideas and we'll see what happens.
Mitch, I need to go with you when you get your tattoo.
Okay. I'll make it happen. That's all I got. We'll be back next week with hopefully more news that's not just talking about Rock Band and whatever.
More Genshin Impact.
Yeah, we'll talk about Genshin Impact for another 15 to 20 minutes. Don't forget that the live shows for Next Gen News Week start at 9:30-ish on Wednesday nights. We're never on time. David, thank you for joining almost 45 minutes late. Appreciate it. It was great. It's not as bad as, I mean, it still is just as funny as Richard joining in at the last minute last week. If you are,
I was early today.
Yeah, you were early. It was great. If you're an audio listener, Wednesdays 11 a.m. ish on Anchor.fm. And iTunes and Spotify and wherever else you get your audio versions of the podcast. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Also, just shout out to the 3 people watching on my personal Twitch, because again, could not figure out how to not make it go to my Twitch. So anyway, shout out to y'all. Shout out to everyone watching. I appreciate it, and we'll be back next week. Michael, carry us on with an ad.
This week's podcast is brought to you by an exorbitant amount of ping pong balls. I think Rebecca has numbers. Rebecca? You're supposed to have numbers. This is really unprofessional. Okay, 475 ping pong balls and 1 perfectly spherical egg. Thank you, good night.